Welcome. I am Michelle Lea, and this is my intimate space. And I get to have wonderful conversations about things that are very near and dear to people and intimate to their heart. And today I have Matt Hanson, a good friend of mine here, and we're just going to have some conversations and see where they go. Hello, Matt. Welcome.
Hello, Michelle. Thank you. Good to be here.
Thank you. Let's start it off with how do you intimately know me?
I guess mainly through Lee activation. I think we met originally at Unity, and then you introduced me to ecstatic dance, and then Lee activation, and that was my first experience with energy works, for lack of a better phrase, and it was pretty mind blowing.
Mind blowing, and hopefully a resetting of the nervous system, right? Like mind blowing to the point where you weren't even thinking anymore, and you were just in your body in the experience.
That's a really apt description of it. So mind blowing in this context means mind activity just got blown out of the water, and then there was like presence and feelings of direct body sensation, which most of us in our society are not familiar with.
Yeah, a lot of society. We've been chatting, and we were chatting, and we were like, "This is a great podcast. We got to talk about." And one of the things is the hustle culture, right? The fact that the hustle culture is coming to an end, and we're getting into a place of inner knowing or inner guidance or the flow state. And that is what's aligned for our soul's experience to feel at ease and at peace with our life and to be provided for in that state abundantly.
Yeah, to have quote unquote faith that life will support you, life has your back. Yeah, that's something that I think a lot of people struggle with. Like, we're all deeply conditioned to, there's a me here that's separate from everything, and I have to make everything happen the way I think it should, right?
Or the way someone else told you that it should be done.
Yeah, more often than not that.
Yeah. And then we do adapt that as like this is how I'm supposed to behave. This is how I'm supposed to work. This is how I'm supposed to be educated. This is how I'm supposed to believe. This is how I'm supposed to vote. Like, does it ever stop? And I'm just like really excited because you've been in this state of what you called a state of surrender, or what you're on a quest right now. Tell me about that.
Yeah, so I don't know if quest, perhaps journey, whatever. So like 5 years ago, I read a book called The Surrender Experiment by Michael Singer, and of his books, that's my favorite. It's just a life story, and the core premise of it is that, according to him, and I agree with this, we all have a voice in our head. It's just conditioning, voices from our parents, past, whatever. But there's maybe not an audible voice, but there's just his voice telling you, like, do this, do that, like, and we listen to it, and we think we know stuff. And so what he did, his surrender experiment, was to recognize that that voice in the head is not me, and he decided to surrender to use his words, honor and serve the moment in front of him. So to be just in the present moment with what's happening right now and not living inside the mind and listening to all the rhetoric up there. It's constant. Like, that was his whole thing. He just recognized a constant chatter. So upon reading all this, I was like, I just felt it was true, right? So I just did my best to start conducting my own surrender experiment and doing that very thing, listening to the heart and intuition, and not listening to the basically fear-based rhetoric that's always active. And so, to the degree that I can do that, miracles unfold. Like, the more I can do that, life does show up and just hold me and move me forward, and I feel like the universe has my back, so to speak.
Yeah.
And it's a difficult challenge, because that voice is always trying to come. Even right now, it's like trying to tell me how I should look and sound, and you got to be this way so that you're accepted and all that. And so I'm in the process now of just, as often as possible, recognizing when that's happening and going, oh, and then just kind of breathing into the body, letting go of it. And invariably, when I let go of that, there's peace in the space where that was occupying. And then my ability to deal with whatever's happening is way better.
Yeah.
So that's what I endeavor to do. and occasionally fail miserably at that. And then, but even that, the failures are not failures; they're just opportunities to say, "Oh," and learn and grow.
Yeah, and in my landmark, one of my leaders talked about failure is when you see it as failure, then it's a completely different context, right? It's a disempowering context versus if you see it as a missed goal, it's not such a big deal. It has way less impact on the way you feel it in your body, the way you emotionally continue to carry it into your future.
Yeah, it's so perspective is everything, right? Like how you choose to see it or filter it. Like we all have our filters, and reality comes in, and we don't see reality. We see the version of it that comes on the other side of these filters.
Yeah. And how many times do we just miss the mark a little bit?
A lot.
Yeah, we miss the mark, and then we want to label ourselves as a failure.
I don't think we want to. It's just that's what we're conditioned to do. You know, that's what happens. It's like, oh, for me, that goes back to childhood upbringing and being told, just spun this story of unworthiness. So my default position is, yeah, there's something wrong with me, and I'm yeah.
And being in that flow state, it's scary when you first start to let go because things start to fall away. Beliefs fall away, people fall away, finances may fall away because you're not putting the emphasis on acquiring things. You're putting on the emphasis of really listening to what would feel fulfilling for my purpose, a state of more than just this instant self. What would that look like?
That moment right there is what we were just talking about, where when you surrender it, when you let go of that and you surrender into it, it's still there trying to come. You have to be like, oh, it's like a constant battle at first to not listen to that. Because when I surrender into my flow state, it's uneasy. It's unknown, and the mind is trying to say, "Oh, this is an uneasy feeling. Let me fix that unknown feeling and go back to what's familiar because we know that, even though it feels awful, whatever that is, that familiar feeling doesn't feel good, but it's better than the unknown. So the fear of the unknown seems to it drives us all to go revert back into that way, and it's just like so. It's a lot of iterations of like repetition of doing that process of like, oh no, I hear you, fear-based thinking. Thank you. I know you're just trying to help me, but my heart says move in this direction, and I know there's uncertainty around finances and all that, but it's going to be fine. Yeah. Just trust me, and then to actually then do it, and then you find out that it ends up fine, and then
the finances start coming in, and you're being supported. Because now what's happened is you've gone through that dark night of the soul, that uncovering of, like there's something more that I need to experience. You're like, nah, not really. You're just like uncovering that what matters is right now.
That's all there is.
Right now is all that matters. And all that fretting that you've been doing about the future makes no difference,
Right. But we think somehow that by fretting over, we can change it and make it the way we want it. That's what Michael Singer talks about. He's like, it doesn't work. He's like, look at it in your own life. Has it ever worked for more than 5 minutes? Has it ever worked?
Yeah.
It hasn't.
Yeah, and then as people start to fall away, new experiences are starting to come into your life. Things that are in an alignment with where you are in your consciousness or a state of awareness in the world, right?
And they can't do that unless you let go of the old pattern, because the old pattern's taken up that space.
Right.
When you let it go, as scary as that openness is, now there's space, and then the miracles come right into that space.
Yeah. So in life, that doing, that hustle culture of, I'm not where I want to be, I need to work harder. You're actually pushing against yourself.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly what Michael Singer's talking about. Like that voice comes and we listen to it. We want to we're conditioned to listen to it. Mm-hmm. That voice, like, here's the hardest part for me. Like, was to really come to terms with that voice in the head isn't actually me. I have believed that to be me my whole life.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, holy crap! And then there's an uneasy moment where you're realizing that, who am I without that? Like, and then that's the existential question of life. Who am I really? I'm not this collection of things that's called Matt Hanson and all that. And let me just let life show me here I am. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's what I'm endeavoring to do.
Good.
And not failing.
Miss marks.
Attempting to do it, and then the outcome isn't what I thought it might be, but whatever that outcome is for me.
Yes. They're redirecting you back to your path.
Yes. All like
Always.
always, without exception, right?
Yeah. I mean, I come from a small town of 2,300 people and one stoplight. That small mind mentality of you just got to be thankful, right? I am. And I'm humble and I am grateful. But there's an essence of like also kept my soul, my artistic, my creativity limited. My ability to express myself was limited. And that expression, that embodiment of where our soul is moving into, that's when that divine moment happens, when everything lines up and you're finally ready to step into it. Like, I never in a million years would thought possible that I could write a movie.
Yet here you sit writing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think what you just said there is something, I don't know anybody personally who doesn't face that exact thing, where like the old conditioned thinking, fear-based rhetoric comes in and tells you all the reasons why you just shouldn't do that. It's unknown and unsafe by the mind's standard. And we're like, oh, well, I'm happy to listen to my mind. Well, no, the mind's not right about this.
Yeah.
Just that is where the leap of faith comes in and say, nope,
Yeah.
not listen to that old thing. And, Michael Singer did this, and he ended up CEO of $1 billion corporation because one thing led to another. In that book, he lays it all out, how it happened.
Yeah.
And it's fascinating. And it's all about there's something in you, your intuition is telling you to do this, and then there's all this opposition to it from the mind telling you not to.
And your experience.
We all tend to, and our friends and family tend to also echo that rhetoric.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not safe. Don't do that. Get a decent job, 9 to 5, stable. The illusion of security is what we all go towards. It's an illusion. It's not even real. Security is not even a thing.
And then it keeps you stuck in this lower state of vibration because you're always thinking, I could have, what if I? And then you're just feeling like you're in a prison cell. And then that vibration, it leaches onto every single person around you. And then it sucks the life out of them. And it's just like this dark force that continues to, and then you're like, oh, well, I don't want to be happy or feel good because they're not happy and don't feel good. And I might make them feel bad about themselves, right?
Another, I think that is common to us all to some degree. It's playing small and, not, it's people pleasing. You don't like, and I think that's somewhere deeply linked. Our survival instinct as humans is we're a pack animal. We need acceptance of the crew. And so that is a really high priority for us. And we think we have to, so we abandon ourselves to do the thing that we think that needs to be done so that we don't get abandoned. That's all a story. It's not even true. Right. If you let go of it and just follow your heart, you're going to be fine.
And we have many stories, not just one. We have many stories about who we are in our head,
Oh, yeah.
But that small town girl, it keeps continuing for me because then it's like, well, you were in a small town, but you were really well off. So, you don't want to stand out because when you stand out, everybody sees you. And I've even seen myself now in a leadership training program with people all over the world. And my coach wanted me to tell them all about my pitch to the Hollywood producer and how things were going. And in front of leaders, I wanted to play small again.
But you recognized it.
But then I recognized it and then I shouted it out. And now I've got more people helping me. And now I have like a co-writer that's got me organizing it. And it's just like by staying small, I kept myself limited.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So what does it feel like now? You had that kind of epiphany. You said no to the old ways. You stepped into it. And how does it feel now?
It feels like an example I want to show everyone.
Well, as someone who's read what you have so far, I'm completely blown away by it. It's like,
and it was in my meditation practices, and that's the thing too. It's like we talk about prayer or mantras or having a practice or meditating or working out, but whatever allows you to get in that flow state for that inner guidance to come through, that inner truth.
Basically anything Michael Singer. So I'm quoting these people all the time because they're what they say rings true to me. Eckhart Tolle, Michael Singer. But gosh, now I've totally lost my train of thought. What I was even trying to make, but yeah, I lost it.
That's okay. We were just talking about how it's like all of these things, they all line up, but we can't play small. We have to embody every thought of becoming what we see or where we see ourselves being guided towards. We hold ourselves back. We want to blame everything outside of us, but we've got to really look at introspectively how we are playing small.
Yeah. Oh, so
Mm-hmm.
Michael Singer talks about basically anything that you can do, any practice, whether it's meditation or whatever it is, to silence that voice in your head. And for me, back in the day, drinking alcohol did that. As soon as the second drink hit, that uh, voice in the head silenced, and I felt great. And at the time, I thought, oh, the alcohol's making me feel good. Now, in retrospect, I'm like, no, anything that silences that voice, your natural state is that joyful, feeling great, and then that comes out. So he says, yeah, if you need to meditate, say mantras, whatever practice works for you, do it. As long as you're not off in your head and you're here in your body in the present moment, that's the only thing that matters. From there, it all unfolds magically. You don't even have to do anything. It's just happening.
And didn't he talk about the senses?
Yeah.
The 5 senses to get to the 6th sense, or?
So there's basically 6 places that you can put your attention: thoughts and emotions and feelings, and your mind activity stuff, or your body, your 5 senses.
Right.
So 5 senses and thought is basically how it breaks down. Thought being emotion and feeling too. But when I've found personally, whenever my attention is in the body, what is happening here, the sights, sounds, smells, all that, and just all the attention there, I'm not filtering it, not evaluating it and thinking, well, this is like the mind activity, whenever it slows and stops, that peace comes. And then what to do in that moment is always just automatic and apparent. There's no suffering in that space. Yeah. But then the mind will come in right away all the time and try to tell its story. So it's just catching it over and over again. Oh, there's that rascal again coming in trying to tell me what needs to happen so that if this happens, you'll be okay then in the future. If you can just do this, then you're going to be okay. Right. That's the continuous rhetoric with different details for my whole life. And so now I'm catching it more than I don't. Right. And the results, even from the little bit I'm able to do, are miraculous.
Right. And then I like to take people one step further. And once you start tuning into the body, tuning into the feelings, you'll start to see those feelings arise at different levels in the body. You might feel it in the throat, you might feel it in the heart, you might feel it in the gut, right? And we start talking about how those are your chakras, or they're plexuses of nerves that can communicate to your endocrine system. And when you learn to control your hormones, you learn to transform yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, I've noticed how the energy moves in different places in the body. At first, my mind would be very active trying to figure out, what does that mean? What is it like, trying to make a story about what's happening? But that's going back to the old way and leaving the awareness in the body. So whenever I can just stay in the body, like, when I'm meditating, sometimes energy will move in some crazy way. And sometimes there's a really powerful emotional release that comes with it, whether it's crying, maybe it's hysterical laughter, it could be anything, screaming, rage. Now I don't try to figure it out. If there's some story that needs looking at, it arises and I can see it. But often there's no story around it, and I just feel the sensations, and it feels as though there's some kind of a energetic releasing happening of something that was trapped that wanted to go, and then it goes, and then you're lighter afterwards. And so it's probably a lifelong process of doing this. It's not like, oh, now I'm all done. The energy's gone and I'm enlightened forever. Like, it's a lifelong process. But
you're actually experiencing esoteric healing. You're experiencing the energy body releasing, or a somatic release.
yes.
And the book, The Body Keeps the Score, the doctor talked so much about how diseases show up based on where the traumas are held in the body, which is the exact same thing as the levels of our chakras, which is like talking to your endocrine system, which continues to produce the hormones for your body to run on or be regulated on. And it's all the cycle. But your nervous system is a biofeedback system that's communicating to you through emotions, through sensations. And in these times of deep meditation with the Lea activation, you start to develop a language with your body, that inner guidance, that inner tuition, your inner GPS starts to come online and guide you.
It's so needed. Like, as you're saying, I'm like, gosh, my whole life I didn't know any of it. Like, my body's trying to communicate with me my whole life, and my conditioning is counter to that. My conditioning is against that, as it seems like it is for so many people. So how do you navigate that? You need some sort of a system that addresses that, which is what you're talking about with Lea activation. Like, you're just coming to terms with, this is what's happening in my body, and becoming familiar with, well, when this happens, and listening to your body in some feeling energetic way that has nothing to do with thought. And it's like magical. Like the mind wants to make sense of it and it can't. So there's more resistance comes because of that. Like, well, I can't figure this out. It's nonsense, you know.
There's no words for it. That's just it.
No words. Exactly.
So you put words to everything because you want it to have a meaning, because the human brain can't possibly understand it. So it has to break it down to the simplest logic, right?
In an attempt to try to control it.
Right. And this is your parasympathetic system. This is your autonomic system. You don't control it. It just does what it needs to do.
You need to be able to surrender to it and allow it to, and not resist it. Which
so your surrender quest is perfect time.
That is the key. Like without that intention to surrender to it, because why don't we, right? Because it feels so dysregulating. Like, oh, you're no to this. Let me resist it. And you think by resisting it, you can get away from it or hide from it. You cannot. And eventually you learn you can't hide from this. It will never leave you until you face it and feel it. And then it wants to go. Like, and then when you face it, feel it, it goes. And then, then you're in this process of that. It goes like that for a while. And people who have done this longer than I have report that it gets way easier and it becomes more of your just natural state of being. And you're just in your joy, like as a baseline, and occasionally dealing with your mind. Whereas it's the other way around for me. And right now I'm somewhere in the middle. Like things are more miraculous and amazing than they've ever been. But I can also see the journey there's more in here that wants out. So
good. Let's continue to bring it out.
Yeah, for sure.
Good. Well, that was really an intimate conversation.
Yeah.
And I love it. And that's one of the biggest things. Like, intimacy for me is into me, I see. And so that inner light, that inner knowing, that inner Gnostic that you have within you, I encourage all of you to believe in yourself and embody it, live it, be it, breathe it, speak it, just write about it, however you get it out. Like, that's your transformation that's waiting for you.
And I find that when we sit and talk like this, we really are mirrors. Like, whenever you're talking about what's alive for you, the details of your life are different than mine, but the core premises driving it are the same. And I can feel that. And it feels like connection. Like, oh, yes, well, I'm not in this alone. Like, we're all doing this. Let's come together and help each other do it.
Yeah, we are not in this alone. We're all here. And one of the things I like to evolve in these podcasts is something intimate about myself. And so I would like to, this conversation has been very stimulating for me. And one of the things that I know for myself is that I recognize there's a part of me that is a sapiosexual. And I'm sure that you've heard this term before. And it's somebody who is really stimulated by intelligence, deep conversations, even somebody's like drive, like something so intentional and deep that it just like pulls you in to want to know more. And that's very stimulating for me. So
I'm with you. Like that, I'm sapiosexual as well. And that, like that intellectual, it's not just intellectual, but the intellectual stimulation adds to, there's like a holistic feeling of connection with someone that you can have. And when you start talking on these deeper levels, that connection feels very powerful. Sometimes it can be really overwhelming, and it can move through the sacral chakra, and it can feel like physical attraction, and it's this amazing like journey through
all the hormones that are getting dumped into your system feel blissful.
And it's a deep, powerful feeling that is wonderful.
Good. Well, I'd like to have you back again. Would you like to come back?
Absolutely.
Good. We're going to intimately have some more conversations. And what would you, if we come back? Let me start that again. So I'd love to have you come back again. And I would love to know what intimate conversation we could dive into about you.
Yeah. So that's, for me, that would be conscious kink. And that's a vulnerable topic. It's a really like opening up about the deepest, darkest fantasies and secrets you have. I know your work is very centered around sexuality and its role in our awakening, and that conscious kink is that. It fascinates me that it's about using whatever erotic desires you have, or fantasies, or fetishes even, and rather than trying to like, resist them or shun them, embracing them fully and using them for awakening. And to me, that's like, Yes, please.
Yeah, so we'll definitely dive into how our sexuality can be a part of our awakening into who we are and just claiming that aspect. Many religions and society and families, experiences that we've deemed as wrong or inappropriate can really hold us back in that center. And there's a space for everyone to heal. There's a space for everyone to talk about what they're going through. So thank you. I'd love to share that.
I think that's probably the most common thing. Like in our society, we've all had that condition. Like the most conditioning exists around that one,
Yeah.
the guilt and shame around sex, and it's all just conditioning. I mean, we're all prisoners to some degree to that conditioning, and when you start to let go of it, holy crap, the freedom and like, oh my god, this is what it is to be alive, right? Like, oh, it's supposed to be like this, not that, like
it's life force energy.
Yeah, and it's like, this isn't wrong. It's okay. This is how we all are. Like, embrace it,
And since we're talking about movies, and my movie has a lot of this esoteric, deep satire comedy in it, right? But not only that, like it's divulged in many movies, right?
Yeah.
All of this life force energy, it from this Darth Vader, right? The Jedi within you, right? The finding that inner light that can rise above anything. It's all been depicted throughout time.
We all have it, and it's bright, and we just don't know it.
Yeah.
Yet.
Well, shine on. So until next time, if you loved our conversations and you'd like to hear more about topics, drop me a comment below. And please, I'd love for you to like, subscribe, and if there's anyone that you know who could get some important information out of this, share it with them. Till the next time, we'll see you intimately. Bye. Thanks, Matt.
Thank you.
It was a pleasure to have you on here.
It was a pleasure to be on here.
Great. I look forward to it. All right. Bye, everyone.